Okay, so I've been doing some checking and I found out that the two wires that we need to hook onto are the black and the orange and white. So what I've done is I want to check this thing with it operational, and I'm going to show you why here in a little bit. I'll pull that bulb and kill my circuit so I can show you how you can get stung. But for right now, I'm going to show you how we have this thing set up. I'm going to take a look. If you'll look at the way I have this, I'm doing what we call back pinning. Let me see if I can get my big finger in there. Okay, and you can see this pin has been pushed in between the wire and the rubber weather, or the weather pack, to keep the rain and the water and what have you out of that connector and keep it from turning green. And I just went in between that and the wire to back pin it. I want to push it in far enough where I come in contact with the metal terminal down in there. Okay, so right now I have my ground hooked up to my ground wire, and I'm going to go ahead and connect my positive lead to the other pin. And I want you to notice that I have 8.23 volts of voltage drop. So what does that mean? Well, that means that I have what? High resistance somewhere else. This bulb should be reading around 12. I checked this battery and it is right at 12. So system voltage, I am not getting that back here. Okay, so one quick thing that we can do is we can take this guy and go to a known good power. And I will tell you, if I go to a known good power, it's going to read about 0.15 volts. Okay, I'm not really concerned about my power side though, because I already have this light on the left side that is working fine. And if we look down here at our reading, the exterior lamps at orange and white right here, this guy, both of these go to the same circuit. These actually tie together. So I'm not really worried about that. By the way, if you take a look at this guy right here lights up the flashers or the park lights. So I'm not interested in that wire right now. Okay, so what I'm suspicious of, and what would be easier to check, is the ground side. So I'm going to remove my power lead here, or my positive lead to my DVOM, and I'm going to find myself a good ground. And I will tell you that I know that this bolt right here is a good ground. Let me see if I can get that clipped on there. Okay, there we go. Now let's take a look at my meter. Look at that. Although it shows negative because I've got this set up in reverse polarity, I still know that I have 3.9 volts of voltage drop on my ground side. Remember, I'm going from my ground wire over here to known good ground. So that means somewhere in my ground system I have excessive resistance. Okay, so now all I need to do is figure out what I've done. And if we look just a little bit over here, you can see that Dan has put in a couple of resistors to cause this to have excessive resistance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my bug and tie these wires together temporarily. And I will have a bright light, hopefully. Ta-da! a bright light with no resistance.